A very good morning, children. Welcome to DEO Nalgonda English online classes. It's my privilege today to teach 5th unit for 6th class students, that is plant a tree. The unit has 3 sections, that is A reading, B reading and C reading. Today, let us discuss the face sheet and A reading with the help of the slides. Hope today's presentation with the help of the slides give us a clear idea about the importance of the plants, about the importance of planting trees, and about the importance of protecting the plants and importance to provide a better environment for the future generations. So, as all of you can see, the title itself suggests that it's our responsibility to plant a tree and we should protect our environment by planting trees, children. So, children, if we destroy the nature, in turn, nature will distract us. So, please do avoid cutting down the trees. Then, move on to the next slide. Now, children, if you observe this face sheet, look at the picture. What do you see in the picture? And you will know what would happen if all the trees were cut down. As all of us know that trees help everyone living on the earth. Let me tell you, there is an inspiring story behind this face sheet. The inspiring story of Kejarli, located in Jodhpur in Rajasthan, and this story is caused by cutting down of trees by the kingdom of Marwar. The Kejarli massacre was an event which happened in 1713 September, in which 363 Bisnoys were killed while trying to peacefully protect a grove of Kejari trees. The soldiers were sent by Maharaja of Marwar to cut the trees in the village of Kejarli to provide the wood for a new palace. And you know, children, the killings were carried out on the orders of his minister, Giridhar Bhandari. Then the sacrifice for the trees is started. In the words of the woman, where you can see in the picture is Amrita Devi Bishnoi, and by her 3 daughters and more than 300 Bishnoi ladies. Then that moment to stop cutting down the trees, that moment is known as Chipko movement, which is started in 20th century. Let me tell you, children, what is the Chipko movement. The Chipko movement, it was a non-violent agitation in 1973. The aim of the Chipko movement is to protect and conservation of trees. Hope you understand the face sheet. Now move on to the next. Now children, look at this slide. The slide itself says that it is our responsibility to plant the trees, protecting the trees by protecting the environment by planting the trees. And let me move on to the other slide. Let me show you the other slide. What are the people doing in the picture? They're planting the trees. So even it's all our duty to protect the trees and plant the trees as many as possible. Now look at this slide, children, where as we discussed that the trees are the most useful things in the world. Then move on to the next slide, where the travelers are resting in the cool shade, and What do you mean by travelers, children? Travelers are those who travel from one place to the other place. When they get tired, they rest under the cool shade of the trees and move on to the other slide where you can see the children playing very happily under the trees. As all of you know that even you too enjoy playing under the trees. Then move on to the next slide. There are many uses of the trees. Trees give us food to eat, and you can see in the slide the boy waiting for an apple. And the other use of the trees is gives us firewood to burn, where your mother cooks food for you. And the other use of the trees, the slide itself says that the trees give us rain. Without the trees, there is no rainfall. And this slide says that without trees, there is no life on this earth. It's very clear. And the other use of the trees is we build the houses and make furniture with the wood of the trees. What do you mean by furniture? The table and the chair, the cots, the benches we make from the wood of the trees. And now move on to the next slide where we can see that trees make starch for us, that they use the carbon to make the starch and let the oxygen out into the air. Then what will happen if there are no trees? Everyone would die. But trees helps us to live. So what is this process? What is this figure says is the trees breathe in the carbon dioxide from the air and they let oxygen out into the air, and with the help of the sunlight they break up the carbon dioxide into carbon and oxygen. That is how they use the carbon to make the oxygen, and the oxygen is let out into the air. As all of us know that trees make all the starch in the world, because the starch is the most important part of our food. So without trees, we will not have any starch to eat. And also trees, the leaves of the trees breathe out lot of vapor into the air, which makes the air cool. And when you look at this slide, trees have many more uses. Is it not, children? The slide itself says what is that the tree gives us? The tree gives us oxygen, the fresh air to breathe in, where we are healthy because of the fresh oxygen. And there are many medicinal plants where we get the medicines from the medicinal plants. We also get some cosmetics from the trees, where we get tea and the coffee powder from the trees, and the paper, pencil and the eraser which we use is also made from the trees, and the cotton is also extracted from the trees. And because of the greenery, we are enjoying the shade under the trees, and trees gives us fruits. As you know, they give us vegetables, they also gives us spices, and they also gives the wood, and out of this wood we build our houses and furniture. And now we are talking about a famous tree in South America. This tree is called as a cow tree, and people drink the sap of this tree instead of the milk. As you know, the sap of this tree is less expensive than the milk. And there is another tree has many more uses. You can see the rubber tree here. The rubber tree grows in many parts of the world. From this sap we get the rubber. As you know, rubber is a very useful thing, and there are some other medicinal plants like eucalyptus tree. They give us medicines also. And you can see a very huge plant here, German sherman in California. It is in America. It's a very huge evergreen tree. It is said to be several thousand years old. So, as I told you, if there is a question, how long can big tree live? Nobody knows. But some trees have already lived for more than 4 to 5,000 years. They can also live for 5 to 6,000 years more, and some of the trees live as long as 10,000 years also. Here is an example, a tree called as general sherman in California, which is America. It is a very huge evergreen tree. Then children will get a doubt. How do we know the age of a tree? So, do trees have birthdays? Yes, they have the birthdays like us. They even get gifts on their birthdays. So, what is that gift the tree gets? They get the rings. So, every year a tree grows a little bigger. As it grows, what will happen? The trunk gets another layer of the wood, and it also gets another ring. So, here if you observe the figure here, you can see the rings because you cannot see the rings because inside the tree. But if we cut the trunk, carefully you will find the rings. So each and every one ring indicates 1 year. Some trees can live only for 5 to 10 years, but can some live for hundreds or even thousands of years like General Sherman. So, man is cutting down the hundred of years every year to build houses, to make the furniture, to cook food, and to make paper. But if this continues, one day there will be no trees in this world. So, if there are no trees on this world, what will happen, children? We all will die. So, it is our responsibility to avoid cutting trees as far as possible. And what is it? Our duty to, we must plant a lot of trees. Every one of us think that it is our responsibility to plant at least one tree every year. So look at this slide, how beautiful the nature is with the greenery. So let us make our nature beautiful by planting more and more trees. Now if you move on to your text, A reading, the figure itself says, look here, the carbon dioxide released by the human beings is used in the process of the photosynthesis, and the oxygen is let out. So, in nutshell, we can say that the trees are the most useful things in the world, and we have we have seen many uses of the trees. Finally, one thing is, without the trees, everyone would die. So trees are helping us to live. They breathe in the carbon dioxide from the air, and they are letting out the oxygen into the air with the help of the sunlight. They are breaking up carbon dioxide into carbon and oxygen. So trees are giving us the food. So please children, realize the importance of the trees, and you have many medicinal plants, so we get a lot of medicines, we get a lot of furnitures, and you know the importance of the trees. So please avoid cutting down the trees. So trees are, as all of us know, that after listening to this, we know that trees, there are many uses from the trees. So do you think the trees are enemies to the people? No, trees are friends to the people. So why cutting down the trees? Please do protect the trees. So please do stop felling the trees. And if you want to provide a better environment for the future generation, please do protect the nature by planting the trees, by protecting the trees and growing greenery day by day. Hope this is a useful information for you children. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you.